What's going on, Internet? Welcome to our podcast.
I'm Stunner.
I'm Dadman. It's Stunner Dadman Podcast, episode 3. We're going to talk about some pretty relevant topics that were actually probably more relevant maybe a week or two ago, but we don't always get the time to hang out and do this. So, without further ado, recent things have happened, some pretty cool things. Deadpool, Wolverine, we actually went and saw it together. Word indeed. So, you can't see, and I'll just drop the mouse.
And cut.
And if you can't see, there's a Deadpool on there, and he has Wolverine
there,
and
me hanging out with Peanut.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And he's bugged. So yeah. All right, so gotta talk about.
Tell us how gay we are in the comments.
Yeah, we don't. I'm married. He's married. I have 2 kids. He has a dog. I don't know. Yeah.
I do have a dog. Yeah.
Okay. I have 2 cats.
It's a Yorkie Shang, which isn't exactly the most masculine of animals.
So, thoughts on the movie, John?
Went in expecting to have a good time and had more fun than I thought I was going to. The opening's probably the best opening of any Marvel movie ever. I think any movie ever. It hit every nostalgic point it needed to hit with me. It was basically a love letter to Fox, and the cameos delivered. Everything about it. And something finally happens after 20-some fucking years that should have happened a long time ago.
Which was?
I can't say it without spoiling it.
Oh, we are a month after the movie's been released. You can spoil it.
Oh, Wolverine puts on the cowl.
Spoiler alert if you have not seen the movie. If you haven't, that's on you.
Yeah, Wolverine pulls up the cowl, and we
did this like a day after its release. Like, we finished the movie. We literally had fish taco. So we have like a nice little fish taco Deadpool sandwich going on. If we'd done it right after the second round of fish tacos and came here and did the podcast, no spoilers, but this has been out for almost a month.
Yeah. And it's made $1 billion.
It's over $1 billion. It's also 1.2, isn't it?
I thought it was 1.5. 1.5.
Yeah, 1.5.
I'm almost positive 1.5.
I will bet my left you know what, that's not a 1.5.
Did I say fuck like it's the word A, and you're going to censor yourself from saying nut?
1.1.
1.1. Nice.
1.14.
And it keeps going. And then it got beat by his wife's movie when it premiered. So.
Yeah, and his wife moved on top of $20 million to make. Made over $100 million. So, but we're not talking about that controversy from that. So my opinion of the movie, I really, really did enjoy that movie. There's movies that take themselves entirely too serious, and this is one of them that did not to me.
No.
I thought it took the movie as serious as it could be, considering it was breaking the fourth wall, it was blending Fox with Marvel. It did a whole bunch of those things.
There's that awesome scene in the car where Wolverine just goes off, where he just absolutely shreds. Yes, you couldn't even keep a goddamn stripper, and it's Hugh Jackman at probably his best. Honestly, he just doesn't hold back.
Yeah, I like the cameos. So many cameos. You had, let's see, Gambit.
Mm-hmm.
Gambit was cameo. You had Blade. You had Elektra. Oh, you can name some too, you know.
Johnny Storm, which was probably my favorite. To be honest with you, that was amazing.
You had, what's the guy who does the fires?
Pyro.
Pyro, yeah. Yeah. God,
Juggernaut.
You can go all day.
Psylocke was in there. I mean, like, yeah, it's an extensive list. The star of the movie, is not Deadpool. It's not Wolverine. It's not Peter. It is Dogpool, aka Mary Poppins. She is
voted the ugliest dog in England.
Her name is Peggy, by the way.
Peggy.
Her name is Peggy.
Wasn't that Deadpool's nickname for a while? I waited till you drank something to say that.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I enjoyed the movie. I think it's actually the best of the 3. The start of that movie, oh my god, and nothing makes me happier every day than having to turn on YouTube, Instagram, anything, and find some rendition of Deadpool dancing in sync.
Yep.
Whether it's Lego dancing,
yep.
Whether it's whatever. That just makes my goddamn day. Because
somebody did an AI version of it. They overlaid Deadpool with Wolverine.
Yeah.
Doing the Bye 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 dance, and it's incredible.
There's so many pop culture things with it. Oh man, I can't say enough good things about it.
Yeah, it's fun.
Is there really a plot? Kinda.
No.
It's a plot. He's trying to save the world. And he needs like an anchor being to do it.
Watch Loki.
That's the plot.
I will say that there's a part in there that women will want to see towards the end.
Yeah, with Jackman,
yeah. Shirtless Hugh.
Oh, you Jack.
55 years old.
Put those greased up tits away.
Put your greased up tits away, you pretty slut.
Yeah. If you haven't seen it, go see it.
Yeah,
we have not really spoiled anything for you because the plot can't be spoiled. The only thing that can be spoiled really is
a plot.
There's a slight plot. It's kind of a half-assed MacGuffin.
Oh, you know what? Just because fuck it, Henry Cavill. There we go.
Henry motherfucking
Cavill, the Calverine.
Oh man, go watch it.
Yeah, go see it. Yeah, I've seen it 10 times now.
For it because we've seen it so many times. We've talked about it at nauseum.
Yeah. And
we were actually going to do this podcast 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And he was at the place we live con.
Yep, I went to a con. That was pretty cool. There's some cool stuff there. One asshole, but everybody else was super cool. Oh, Dennis Rodman.
I thought you said you was dream meeting him.
It was my dream meeting him. I was a huge Dennis Rodman fan growing up, and he was just a dismissive, uninterested prick.
Okay. That kind of sounds like Dennis Rodman to me.
Kind of broke my heart, but then Thomas Lennon was just the goat of fucking guests, dude. Like, Thomas Lennon was incredible.
You can probably guess where we're at now.
Yeah.
We've mentioned multiple stars. You mentioned Mark Summers.
David Howard Thornton, Mark Summers.
Greatest star of them all.
Jared Padalecki. Ooh, which kind of transitions to the next thing I want to talk about because he's supposed to be on the next season. The Boys.
The Boys. Okay, so he watched it a lot quicker than me. Mm-hmm. I have to watch it with my wife, so I have to kind of go around her schedule of what she likes to watch. But I finally got it finished. Actually got it finished the day before we were supposed to do the last one. And that show, my God, is it just one of the best shows ever put on any kind of television streaming service ever. It is so good. Tony Starr. Not to be confused with Tony Starr.
Dude, he's so good.
He is such a goddamn great.
He's a treasure. Film. He's a fucking treasure. Like, dude, his range, not even his range, his facials. Like, he has the best facials I think I've ever seen for an actor. Like, he can convey so much through his face, just his face.
His smiles.
It's not even the smiles. It's the pain, the confusion, the anger, all of that all at one time in like a fucking 2-second clip. Like he is, and that he's not up for an Emmy again this year is just a goddamn travesty. It's a travesty.
It is, and this show. First off, get out of there, Goro. Actually, you can't get in there. This show went exactly the direction I anticipated it going in. I anticipated, just based on what I've heard about the comics. They're off the comics already. They're kind of
they're still kind of treading
slightly. But
they're
he's
treading.
Not president yet.
No,
that's not. Now that is something I don't want to spoil too much.
Spoiler. Yeah, read the comics.
Yet.
Fuck, they've been out for 10 years.
Read the comics.
Read the comics.
I mean, Endgame was kind of spoiled.
Completely different fucking characterization of everybody.
Yeah.
I am burping Chinese something fierce.
What?
I am burping Chinese something.
Well, we did have Chinese for lunch. We had buffet.
Fucking burping that chicken something wicked, dude.
Drinking beer with it. So.
Yes, I am.
So, what do you expect to drink?
Our future sponsor.
So, I didn't know if I sent this to you. Did you see the video where it was Deadpool in The Boys?
No.
Where they CGI'd him in and did like a bunch of the things he says in his movie, and they paired it up perfectly with things said in the show.
No.
It was like a 5-minute long thing.
Oh, no, you have to send
it. It was like a news conference, and they were talking about all this stuff, and like Tony Starr is sitting there in his Homelander outfit, and you got Deadpool sitting there just yapping on about like stuff from his movie, and it's CGI'd in, and you just have them all being like super frustrated because Deadpool like lasers him, or Homelander just lasers him and nothing happens. And it's a whole video about how frustrating he is to all the other. It's like what he typically is. Like,
me that, dude.
How annoying he is to all the Boys characters. The only one he gets along with is Deep, because he takes like fish jokes. He makes like, "What's your favorite type of fish to And he starts mentioning off. He's like, well, I do this. Like, I'm talking about eating, you sick fuck. Oh my God. But I thought I sent that to you. I really thought I did.
You did not. Question. So what did you think of Jeffrey Dean Morgan joining the cast of The Boys?
He did that typical Jeffrey Dean Morgan stance, that little...
He didn't do the lean. He did the
little side thing.
Yeah, he did side thing where he...
That side. He turns sideways and talks like this.
Right. Right. And he's just like, everything he says is just too cool for fucking words.
When he makes a point, he's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And he does that up and down all the time. Yeah.
You're going to give it up for that cunt? And he like, emphasizes...
So, first off, like, everyone who has ever been in Supernatural apparently is in this show.
Soon to be, yeah.
Yeah, so you have Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
You have Jensen Ackles.
Mm-hmm.
You have Jared Padalecki coming to the show.
Yep, coming soon.
I think a couple of the girls have been in there from the show, but the guy who plays the other president that they're trying to protect.
Yeah, the dude with the great golf shot.
Yes, he is in. He's same character name actually, Bobby Singer.
Really?
Yeah, same exact character name.
Did not know that. Never watched Supernatural.
So there's a bunch of others. I would be very surprised if Felicity Day is not in there. You know who she is or not?
No clue. I know some chick from Supernatural was just at that thing I went to.
Which one?
I don't remember her name.
Felicity Day.
Gabriel something.
Her.
Oh yeah, I know her. I just don't. It's Felicia Day, but I don't know her. Felicia.
But yeah, she's apparently she's gonna be in it. But yeah, it seems like everyone who's in that show ends up on this show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to see if Crowley ever shows up or Misha Collins. Those two, but all in all, this show is amazing. You should watch it.
It is an incredible show.
It is an incredible show. Don't take a lot of what it says to. So if you don't know,
don't be one of these pussies that gets pissed off at something you saw on TV. Like,
I mean, you can get pissed off at stuff, but just understand this is coming at you as this is like the same people who would get pissed off at this show would watch. Oh, what was one we were mentioning earlier? Like Mars Attacks is complete political satire. Same with another movie called Super Troopers.
Yep.
Starship Troopers. Starship Troopers is complete political satire. Now, when it came out, a lot of people thought it was like serious and it was like glorifying fascism, but it is complete satire. It shows the extremes and like how far government will go to control its constituents.
Okay? Wag the dog.
Yeah, Wag the Dog's another one like that, which I haven't seen.
You need to see it.
I need to see it.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Mars Attacks, another one. This is The Boys is probably the best political satire of our modern age. Not even close.
Yeah, it's
not even close. Show. It's absurd. It's out there. It's gratuitous violence for the sake of gratuitous violence.
Oh God, there's an episode this season. I know you know which one I'm talking about, where Homelander goes home when he goes back to the lab. Mm-hmm. The
carnage that he
just. That scene with the guy.
You remember the room?
Yes.
When he left with the girl there?
I'm not even talking about the oven scene. I'm talking about the other scene.
Yeah, I know.
That fucking laugh, dude. That shit haunted me. It just
hurts thinking about it.
Oh, God damn. Yeah, that may have been one of the most brutal things I've ever seen.
If you've seen it, you know exactly what we're talking about.
I was like, holy
you know exactly
shit.
What we're talking about.
And then there's the did you see, you saw the Herogasm episode, right? How that begins?
Keep going.
With the little tiny dude and the dude's thing.
Oh, yeah.
And then he sneezes
and he
yeah. And just watch this fucking show. It's sick. In the best way.
And the way it ends is such a cliffhanger.
Oh my God, dude.
My God, is it a cliffhanger. So, the next podcast, we are going to talk about the cliffhangers in that. That is going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay? That is definitely going to happen in the next podcast.
Also,
Speaking of next podcast, I just want to let you know, this podcast, the top 10, which we're going to be doing in probably about 10 or 15 minutes, will be ranking all the Star Wars movies from our worst favorite to our most favorite. Not the shows, not the holiday specials.
Can we just skip Last Jedi? Because we all know it's going to be each of our worst, right?
It's definitely going to be our worst, but I want to wax poetically about why it's the worst, okay?
I do.
You don't want to, but I will. Every chance I get, I just this movie.
It's all been said. It's just like, yeah, it sucks.
I will say it till I'm blue in the face and dead.
Little Jedi bitch with a broom. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about Friday the 13th again, why don't we, huh?
Okay, we could. Let's fucking go.
Exactly. Every time you get a chance to
would you like me to break that down for you?
You go ahead and do it, but whenever I want to bitch about...
Dude, I didn't even get started on the series yet. Like, they did a fucking Friday the 13th series that wasn't even about the fucking movie.
Right here, we're talking, and somehow I was able to slip in why Disney Star Wars sucks, is they ruin characters, and they're nowhere near as bad as George Lucas and Spielberg were on that South Park episode.
Except for, Spielberg replacing all the guns in E.T. with walkie-talkies. Or flashlights. It was one of the two. I can't remember. It was one of the two. Yeah, no, that's a thing that happened.
All the guns?
All the guns the FBI agents had.
I never saw this.
Yeah. It was a big thing when it first came out that he wanted to make it accessible to everybody, and this was way before.
It was PG.
I know.
Accessible to everyone.
But he had it. He had all the. It was.
That's a great. Oh, hold on. Okay. If federal agents are going to come after anyone, are they coming after us with flashlights?
It's flashlights or walkie-talkies.
Is it like, are you playing fucking freeze tag with your criminals? I got a light on you. Gotta stop.
Hold that thought. Continue ranting.
No, I think it's stupid. Like, they're legitimately going to breach your house with guns. Okay, it happens in real life. If it's not going to happen in real life, why put it in a movie like that? If that's how they do it in real life with the flashlights and shit, fine.
So, good thing is, Steven Spielberg recently came out in 2023 and says he regrets editing the guns out of E.T.
Good. He should.
But he did it for the 20th anniversary.
Okay, well, fuck him on the 20th anniversary. He just left it as it was. That's a great anniversary present. It's not to fuck with it. Now I'm saying fuck a lot. I don't even say fuck that much.
You don't say fuck that much.
I don't.
Can you say it 26 times in 2 minutes, though? That's the question, because I know I can.
Man.
I've fucking done it.
You counted.
I absolutely went back and counted.
If I had more tech savviness, I would have a fuck counter.
Oh, can we do that?
We can. If we really wanted to.
Dude, can we seriously do a fuck counter? That would be amazing.
Maybe. But when we actually talk about horror movies, and we have a top 10 about them, then we will have a fucking fuck counter, okay?
I want my fucking fuck counter.
We had a fucking fuck counter. We said fucking like at least 18 times last minute.
I want my fuck counter. My fuck counter would be amazing. Even if we did an expletive counter, we'd both be fucked. So, let's just do a fuck counter.
All right, so talked about Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
Talked about The Boys.
There was one other big thing that happened.
D3.
Yup, D23. So Stitch looks really good. I hate that fucking movie. I always have.
Movie until this week.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that movie. Never have been, but the live action Stitch looks incredible.
A week ago was the first time I ever watched that movie.
You watched it at the store. We just never watched it.
I never sat and watched it
we never.
From beginning to end, paying attention to it.
I hate that.
I'm pretty sure the girl in that is on the spectrum. Just being honest. I'm pretty sure she is, man. She is that. My wife turned to me and like, so you're watching this now. So I got a question to ask you. Like, what's that? I'm like, do you think Lilu is somewhere on the spectrum? I'm like, fuck yeah, she's on the spectrum.
Wow.
She really is.
I never even
considered that.
No.
But now I mentioned, does it add up?
Yeah. I mean, going back to what I remember from that movie, because again, I fucking loathe it.
I hate that movie too. But I watched it with my wife and kids. It's not as bad as I always envisioned it. It was past the point of me watching a lot of Disney animated movies.
Cobra Bubbles rules. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. Cobra Bubbles rules.
Who's Cobra Bubbles?
The big FBI. Michael Clark Duncan.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's cool. So, what else came out from that? They announced Andor, and I'm a huge fan. As much as I hate some Star Wars Disney stuff, Andor and another one that's in my top 10 list, I want to talk about it, is been done very well. So those are ones. What's another one that was done? Skeleton Crew comes out.
Skeleton Crew's coming out.
I think that it's not going to be as good as I had hoped it'd be.
There's people excited about Ironheart, which I could care less about.
Ironheart, no.
Secret Wars?
No. The first Secret Wars was horrible.
What? What the fuck Secret Wars? There was no Secret Wars. No,
You said Secret Wars.
Yes. But it's going to be Avengers Secret Wars. It's going to be the actual that ties into the comics.
I mean, they have Brave New World coming out. That movie is destined to fail, and it's going to be bad because they've already spent over $400 million on it.
Right.
And so you got to make double that to break even.
Yeah, it's like that other thing. They spent $180 million on it and just got canceled. But we're not going to get into that right now. We're not.
You need to not get ahead of the camera or the microphone because now it's going this way and it doesn't muffle the sound. Yeah, just be careful ahead of it. You want me to push it back?
A little bit. Because I like to lean forward.
So, D23. What else came out?
So here, I'm gonna backtrack for a minute back to Stitch looking as good as Stitch does, because Stitch looks amazing. It's gonna.
I never doubted it. I never said it didn't look good.
I thought it was
I'm
going to be
not
terrible.
interested in the Stitch movie.
I thought it was going to look terrible.
I'm tired of live action remakes. You know
yes, absolutely. But what they need to do, if they don't do this, I'll be so upset. When Lilo and Stitch first came out, the way they did the ad campaign for it was Stitch invading other Disney movies.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
They need to do that for every live action fucking Disney movie they did with live action Stitch.
Yeah, that would be a great way to promote it. It'd probably sell good.
Yeah.
You're not wrong there.
Snow White. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh.
Piece of dog shit.
Gal Gadot, apparently she's like pissed off.
She's jealous of the homely Latina girl who is
No, she's not.
named after
She's pissed off at her because she's basically, I think Gal Gadot signed on an agreement to have like profit. She's paid off profit more than she's paid off just doing the movie.
She did the Robert Downey contract.
So she has an incentive for the movie to do well.
Right.
Whereas Rachel Zegler has a flat fee because her ass can't make a profit off a fucking movie. She has yet to be in a movie to make a profit.
What's that story to make a profit?
No, it did not. It bombed. Dude, that was made by Steven Spielberg, too. That was his only attempt at a fucking musical.
God
and
damn
it bombed. And I love Steven Spielberg. He is my favorite director of all time.
Were there guns in it?
No. They flashlights, okay?
Could have been walkie-talkies.
They could have been walkie-talkies, but no. The Sharks and the Jets fought each other with flashlights.
You know, when you're a jet all your life. I'm just saying.
Fun in America.
Okay, back on topic.
Rachel Zegler hasn't made a profit in a movie. Hunger Games didn't make a profit. The second Shazam movie didn't make a profit.
I've never seen one of those before.
You never seen the Hunger Games?
Nope.
It's the prequel Hunger Games movie.
I haven't seen one of them.
I don't know. It's a recent one. But she has not been in a movie that's made a profit yet, and I will guarantee you that this one will not make a profit either. She has done everything she can to burn the bridge for this movie. She said that she saw it as a kid and loved it in one interview. And then a more truer interview, she said she hated it as a kid because she watched it once. The animation was weird. And the prince was like...
Well, it was rotoscoped, so yeah, the animation is a little weird.
Oh, I mean, it was the first animated motion picture.
No, like you have to admit though, if you've ever watched it, the animation's a little jarring.
It's okay. It's supposed to be jarring. It's old.
I mean, I get that. I'm just saying, it's a little...
I would rather have videos or cartoons like that than some of the crappy CGI stuff we can get now.
Not wrong, sir.
Okay? I would rather have that.
My kids were watching B-Movie today at the store, and I was just like, why are we watching this shit?
I mean, the only good part about movie is Jerry Seinfeld.
There's nothing good about the movie.
Jerry Seinfeld.
Nothing.
He's the only thing good. He's a trainer.
Not Larry fucking, with Larry King, not fucking Neil Patrick Harris, and man, his CG character's creepy looking.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah.
Anyway, this movie will bomb. It initially had a lot of backlash because they didn't use dwarves.
They didn't.
They used magical things that were like not dwarves. They were like magical creatures or magical men.
Right.
And there was an Asian man and a trans man and a black man. All this stuff in there. So they got backlash from that and didn't have dwarves in it. So they got backlash because they didn't provide an opportunity for dwarves to be employed in Hollywood because of Peter Dinklage.
Motherfucker.
Yeah. And
he had a small problem.
One small problem. One big small problem.
Okay. One small problem.
One big small problem. Okay. And so then they got backlash.
Couldn't wrap his hands around it.
Then, yeah.
Sausage fingers.
It just didn't measure up.
It didn't.
Yeah. And,
he got ahead of himself.
There are some people that think little of him. And, man, I tell you, Peter Dinklage.
I love Peter Dinklage. I do.
Except for that one. Except for the fact that he basically made it so he's the only person who is a midget / dwarf / little person, whatever you call him.
It's little. You're supposed to say little person.
Whatever, I don't care.
But it's fucking circus freak carnival fucking midget is what it is, because they're creepy little fucking tiny little fucking sausage fingers in their foreheads. You can watch a fucking movie on.
You ever watch Austin Powers?
Yes.
There are two things that scare me, and one of them is nuclear war. And it is what's the other thing? What's the other thing that scares you? Carnies.
Carnies are terrifying.
Yeah, little people. Nomads, smell like cabbage.
Little hands. Fucking midgets.
But where's I going with that?
I don't know.
So they got backlash for that. And then now they have CGI, And Rachel Zegler can't shut her fucking mouth long enough for the movie to make a profit.
They look terrible, by the way.
They look fucking awful.
My sister a couple days, she says, "Oh my god, it looks so good." I was like,
"It does not look good.
You're crazy." I know. Try being related to.
Oh wow, I don't want to.
Just try being related to.
So now you pretty much took the two first backlashes. Now you have to deal with Rachel Zegler still running her fucking mouth about the movie.
Oh, shut up.
Won't shut up about it. And Gal Gadot's like, the bitch. I mean, this makes no money. Who's going to pay me for being in the movie?
Because she ain't got none of that Wonder Woman money no more.
No, well, I mean, she probably still does. She's got one more Wonder Woman there, doesn't she?
I don't think there. I think James Gunn just. I think
he gave us today.
I told you, dude. It's going to be weird getting. Weird. Yeah, it's going to be really weird.
Every time I move, I'm like, "What's on my wrist?" Okay.
Yep. And you'll hear it clink, and you have it on backwards, by the way.
How do I have it on back? How do you have a bracelet on backwards?
Well, when you put it on, this should be facing out.
Out?
Yeah.
That?
Like because the face, and then you want the face to hang out.
Okay, like that?
Yep, absolutely. Please don't ever hold your hand like that again. That's better. Jesus Christ. Like that? We ain't shooting 3-pointers, buddy. We ain't shooting 3-pointers.
Hey, Peanut. Okay. So, that movie's gonna bomb. What other movies were announced?
Yeah. What the fuck else was announced? There was. Agatha, the Agatha Harkness show. Yep, can't wait for that. Super excited.
Looks fucking stupid.
I'm excited.
Looks stupid.
I'm excited.
I was lukewarm about WandaVision. It wasn't a bad show. It was okay. It was it's not getting another season either for a reason.
I know, but the last 2 episodes saved that entire series. It was amazing.
No, I thought the episodes before that were good because they kept going through all these like traditional
that was
shows
very
of the eras.
Right.
But it just wasn't. I mean, let's be honest. Elizabeth Olsen is a national treasure. Okay, she's a national treasure. So anything she's in, it's going to be amazing.
Absolutely.
Okay? Let's just be honest about that part. We can get that aside. She's hot, and we're going to watch it. Okay, but I just don't see how. I see this being another like She-Hulk.
I've never watched that, by the way.
Okay, well, it's bad.
Yeah, I won't watch it.
It's
I could care. I don't care.
It's going to be another She-Hulk.
I don't care about She-Hulk.
And what happened with She-Hulk was they tried to clown it up with women's stereotypes and just made like the most. Imagine the worst stereotypes of women now. And then they try to make a character and wrap those things around it and normalize them. And so, like for example, She-Hulk. She's a lawyer, and she's complaining this entire movie. She's on Tinder. She's banging guys. She's hooking up while she's being a lawyer, as she's like the She-Hulk, right?
Well, a lot different than what it used to fucking be. Okay,
yeah, that's exactly what her character arc is.
Okay,
so she's complaining the entire time that all guys want to do is hook up, but that's all she does is get on this app to hook up with guys. And so Matt Murdock, Daredevil. Mm-hmm. They have a court case against each other, which he wins. He obliterates her in court, and he's polite with her. He's a gentleman, and he asks her on a date. She finally gets what she asked for, and guess what she does? Let's just go back to my house and bang. Exactly what happens.
Is it Charlie Cox, by the way?
It's Charlie Cox.
Nice. Cool.
Okay, so it's that, and then the whole show is just all those stupid bad stereotypes, and they're glorifying and trying to like normalize.
And I heard like Megan Thee Stallion was on there twerking.
Yeah, showing how to twerk, and she's like knocking down a building or something.
Or something. Her name is. I don't care.
Doja Cat can twerk.
I don't give a fuck about any of it. Well, she can twerk right the fuck out my life.
That's okay. I'm saying she can twerk.
Good for her.
She can disuse her knock down buildings. Okay. All right. So we are
Moana 2.
No interest at all.
Really?
No interest. Wow. The first one wasn't great. I'll watch
What?
First one was not good.
Bro.
Me and my wife watched that together. We did not like it at all.
Mm-mm.
That's just like I told you last time. Me and my wife tried to sit down and watch the Barbie movie. We could not get through 20 minutes.
And I will disagree with you on that as well.
That's fine. I could probably sit and watch it, but my wife does not have the attention span I have.
I will die on that Moana Hill as one of the best Disney movies in the last 40 years. I love that fucking movie. Everything about that movie was good. The soundtrack was fucking awesome. The animation was beautiful.
I'll give you the soundtrack's good, but I did not think the animation was good. I didn't think the plot was that great. The Rock was okay. It just doesn't resonate with me, dude. Don't you look at me like that.
Fuck did you just say about the final boss?
The final boss? The Rock was always in the movie.
The Rock is the final boss in WWE. I'm not explaining all that. How dare you?
How dare me? How dare you?
Fucking dare you?
It's not a good movie. I'm sorry. I don't like it. It's not like horrible. Like if it's on again, could I watch it and be fine? Sure. There's some that can't. I cannot get through Strange World to save my life.
How do you feel about Frozen?
Frozen's fine.
Go fuck yourself.
Frozen's good.
Go fuck yourself.
Why?
If you're taking Frozen over Moana, you are absolutely wrong, and you just don't like chickens.
I don't like chickens.
That's right.
That's probably the most appealing. I like chickens and I like bacon.
You just don't like
so
high.
I like both those.
Nope,
things.
you don't like high. That's the problem. That's your problem.
Okay. You good?
No, I'm not actually. I'm flabbergasted.
Triggered. I got him. You're flabbergasted.
Fucking flabbergasted.
You're bamboozled.
Who doesn't like Moana?
I'm flabbergasted. This is a kerfluffle. Such a kerfluffle. I don't like Moana.
Wow.
It's not.
Wow.
I like Wreck-It Ralph.
You take Wreck-It Ralph over
Big
fucking
Hero
Moana?
6. I like both of them better than that. I do. Incredibles.
I'll give you Incredibles. Incredibles is a great movie, but
would you say it was incredible?
No, I wouldn't say that. You fucking asshole.
Sorry, I'm not a big fan of Moana.
I
was like, I don't like Raya and the Last Dragon. I didn't think it was very good.
I've never seen it.
Would I take Moana over Raya and the Last Dragon? Yes, I would take Moana over that. I didn't find it to be a great movie.
I mean,
that's like I've only seen Rapunzel once. I'm trying to get my wife to watch it so I can at least see it again so I can remember some of the stuff.
You mean Tangled?
Tangled, yeah. Well, sorry. So, every Friday me and my wife watch Disney Jeopardy, right?
Yes.
Okay. So they're starting to get questions about movies I haven't thoroughly seen.
Oh.
So I'm getting pissed off about it. Like, Lilo and Stitch now I can answer those questions. I've seen it at least once.
Yay!
Shut up. But, yeah, sorry, I don't like Moana.
I don't have words.
They're making Toy Story 5.
I don't fucking care.
Apparently an Incredibles 3 is coming out.
I don't fucking care.
What's the other one? Is there another Monsters Inc. coming out?
No.
They do have one coming, though.
They may be doing another season of the show, and they are doing a Monsters Inc. Land. It's one of the Disney parks.
Yeah, the ride is going to be its first ever feet hanger.
Yeah. Which it better be on doors.
It is doors. It is the doors.
It fucking better be.
It was announced.
Like I remember seeing
it was announced
that
at D23 that they're making one of the rides at the park is the doors from Monsters Inc. 1.
Yep. And the seat better be like if Sully's hand would be coming hanging over the door. The seat should be
That would be cool.
That would be
amazing. Do I doubt it? Yeah, I don't think they're going to get that intricate with it, but it'd be cool if it was.
No, it'll be like the goddamn
It's going to be straight up. But here's the problem with the feet hangers. You can't see what's in front of you, so you really can't see much that has to do with the ride unless you're in the front.
Right.
So that's one of the downsides, too. Like one of those.
No, it's going to be like the goddamn Yeti on Expedition Everest, and it's never going to fucking work.
The Yeti on Expedition Everest?
Yeah, it's never worked. I think it worked one time.
Albengeist was the feet hanger. Busch Gardens. Not the Florida one.
Not the Florida.
All right. Do we want to dive into our top 10?
Iron Dragon. Also a feet hanger.
Okay. Do you want to dive into our...
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Right.
Let's just both say it. I'll say it first, and then you can say it second.
So our top 10, let's announce what it is first.
You can expound.
It is... So we will be doing this from now on, announcing what ours will be for the next video. So the next video, we're doing comedies of the 90s. Okay? And... yeah.
That's going to be fun.
That's going to be fun indeed.
Also, keep an eye out on TikTok. We're going to be starting our page on there probably within the next week, 2 weeks.
And I'm going to start... So before we get into this top 10, we have a podcast. It was the first one recorded. The video quality is horribly atrocious.
God damn it, we had fun.
But it was fun. It was funny. All the build up to it was funny.
And I think I was sober.
He was sober.
I was sober.
So he remembers it.
I don't remember a goddamn thing we talked about. I just know I was sober during the podcast.
We also have some bloopers from the previous podcast. We could not get through the intro to save our lives. But it's 20 minutes. It's like 8 minutes straight of us trying to just say, I'm Dadman. He's Stunner. Welcome to our podcast. We could not get through that sentence without bursting out laughing with something.
Yeah.
So be prepared for that to be coming out between now and the next podcast. Okay, so just keep that in mind and bless you.
Thank you much.
So this top 10 is going to be, it's actually top 11. It's ranking all the Star Wars movies, not the shows, not the animated series, just the movies. Okay, and we will both are unilaterally agreeable in this. The Last Jedi is by far the worst Star Wars movie. Okay,
take it away.
By far the worst Star Wars movie. It's just like everything else is Star Wars Disney. It's very canon breaking. It does not respect the world it exists in. That's a big thing about Disney to me. They do not respect the world that has been created by George Lucas. Yes.
Just one thing. Just was badass. No, man, you can continue now.
No, it was not.
It was fucking sick.
Not.
That was cool.
I will wax.
That was wax cold.
I don't know if I've gone over this on the podcast yet, but I will wax poetically about how Disney has ruined characters. We talked about this on the way in. I will not go into it again unless you want me to for podcast purposes.
No, feel free.
So Disney Star Wars, to me, has only put out really two things that are good. Okay? Everything else has not been very... I mean, I guess Clone Wars, you threw over Clone Wars midway through, so that's still fine.
Uh-huh.
Rebels was okay. So those are like two okay things, and you have two really good things. Everything else has been meh. Okay? Some things have had their moments. What? Mandalorian is meh. It's a little above, like, not above okay. It's better than okay. I'd say Kenobi was pretty good too.
Kenobi was fun.
But the Book of Boba Fett, no, I think it did not do that character any justice. And
it's
I
hard
do
to
not
do a character that sucks any justice.
And I think that Ahsoka was okay. I am curious about season 2.
Still haven't watched
it. But I don't think it's bad per se. But nothing compares to the Acolyte. I won't get into the Acolyte. That's not a video. That's not something for this. Even though, as of today, it was canceled like what, yesterday? 2 days ago or something? A couple days ago?
Yesterday, yeah.
It was actually canceled like yesterday. Yep. So that is something I may talk about in the next podcast.
Yay!
So Star Wars, to me, by Disney does not respect the world that Star Wars exists in. Does not respect all the Force powers. Every time they write themselves into a corner, oh, let's just add a power. That's what they do every time. They add a power.
Mm.
Okay? That's the first problem I have. They don't, they don't respect other things about the world existing. For example, when you go into hyperspace, you're not blasting your ship into hyperspeed. You're going through wormholes in space that get you from one side to the other very fast. Not blasting through another ship when it was convenient for you to do it. Okay? They also don't respect characters. So, for example, Han Solo is a character. His character arc of some of the main characters in Star Wars. Han Solo, for example, starts out in episode 4 as a person who doesn't give two you-know-whats about the rebellion.
Just a scruffy nerf herder.
Scruffy nerf herder who just wants to make his money. But by the end of the trilogy, he had a complete character arc change where he cares about the rebellion, the results of the rebellion, Luke, Leia. He cares, and he's invested. He has an interest, and he has a complete character arc where he trains over from a selfish prick to someone who's completely invested in the outcome of the rebellion. Something greater than himself. And how does Disney do that? The first thing they do is make him a deadbeat dad who ran off to join his fuzzy friend in the space to go do space stuff and left his kid and wife behind. Yes.
Superman Returns syndrome.
Yes, there you go. Superman Returns. So that's how they ruined him. Let's go look at Luke. Luke Skywalker spent the whole episodes 4, 5, and 6 believing wholeheartedly that his dad could be turned back to the light side while also fighting his own demons about potentially going to the dark side.
Because only a Sith deals with absolutes.
Exactly. Very true.
Ah!
So up till the last moment, Luke still believed it, wouldn't kill his father, and was willing to die on that platform of my dad can't be turned back to the light side. Was willing to die. Completely willing. But at the last moment, it happens. So Truth's absolute resolve in that regard paid off and redeemed his father and he ended up being a Force ghost. Going back to, when he was like young. When we all just love to go back to our peak when we die.
Looking like Billy Joel.
Yeah, there you go. And how do you ruin that character? Well, you made him this guy had one bad dream about one of his students potentially going dark side and you want to kill him in his sleep.
You're talking about Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Cool, because we ran past the Darth Vader thing, so kind of.
Okay, good.
No, I'm just trying to help.
So, Leia, they didn't really get a chance to ruin because Carrie Fisher passed away. But they kind of did like the Force Mary Poppins.
They tried their fucking damnedest.
They tried their fucking damnedest to ruin her as much as they could. Now, I'll spend 2 seconds to talk about the Acolyte. The Acolyte ruined Anakin Skywalker. Okay? Anakin Skywalker is the first ever, Force conception. Not forced. Force conception. Okay? Where the Force manifests itself inside of his mom, Shmi, and that made him. So
inside of her Shmi?
Shmi. Her name is Shmi.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. And as a result, he is the first ever manifestation of the Force inside of someone else to make life. Okay. Acolyte completely just spits in the face of that. It's not him. It's his two twins that they made a long time ago. Okay, that were 100 years for the events of Episode 1. And it completely breaks canon. What makes Anakin special? What made him the chosen one? He was the first one that ever happened to. He's half Force, half his mom, more or less, DNA-wise. And that's what made him the chosen one. He was to bring balance because he is the first conception of the Force to bring balance. That's what the prophecy says. Now the prophecy, apparently there's two twins from 100 years ago that, now they're canceled, but, two canceled twins from 100 years ago. The show needs retcon because it destroyed Anakin. So without even having Anakin in the show, they destroyed him. So they kind of did it too with Kenobi beating him after Kenobi didn't use the Force for like 10 years. And then all of a sudden he just wakes up inside of him and he's able to beat Darth Vader. No pun intended. Sorry. Just wakes up inside of him and he's able to beat Darth Vader, who's been doing stiff shit for 10 years. Whatever. But anyway. Last Jedi, worst Star Wars movie by far. Canon breaking. Has no continuity. No relation at all, really, to the first movie, except for the name of the characters. And, yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead. What are your thoughts? I already know what it's going to be.
That's the thoughts I have on that. You can give your number 10 if you want.
My number 10, episode 1.
You son of a bitch.
I'm sorry, dude. Like,
you're not.
No, I am. I'm sorry. I understand, like, we're doing this revisionist thing where every fucking prequel was good now all of a sudden, but it wasn't. It wasn't good. Remember, dude, I grew up with the original, with Empire. Empire was released when I was a kid, so I got to see Empire and Jedi in theaters.
Yeah.
And
I saw episode 1 in theaters.
I was super excited about episode 1 because I got to see Empire and Jedi in theaters. And then I went and saw episode 1, and it's basically a goddamn political thriller with a fucking moron donkey that looks like a fish and a guy who's too stupid to fucking not get cut in half.
Okay. Continue.
It's just boring. I
will talk about Phantom Menace when it's on my list.
I'm sure it'll be like number 3 just to fuck with me.
No.
I hated fucking baby Anakin. I hated baby Anakin. I hated Shmi. I hated fucking Watto. I hated the fucking women's razor is a goddamn commune. Like, there's just so much about that movie that fucking annoys me because I had loved this series for so long and waited for so long, and then when it came out and I saw what the final product was, it was just like, so you're gonna give me one fucking lightsaber battle. Granted, an amazing lightsaber battle. You're gonna give me one fucking lightsaber battle and the rest is gonna
probably one of the best in the series.
I don't disagree. But it's mostly just going to be political bullshit that I don't fucking care about.
But that's what Star Wars is.
And of course...
And that's what leads into probably one of your favorite ones.
Yes. Also, the pod racer scene was incredible. It was, at the time.
Still incredible.
Yeah.
I have comments.
Continue.
But I will...
No, please. By all means.
You're number 10. I'll talk about Phantom Menace whenever I get to my number, when it's on my list.
Like 3, I guarantee.
Number 10 is Rise of Skywalker. I think these two movies are just by and large horrible. It's better. Right? Here's the thing. Rise of Skywalker it's not bad. Last Jedi. Rise of Skywalker is fucking dog shit. And Last Jedi is light years worse than that. Okay, Rise of Skywalker has no continuity of plot. I mean, if Disney bought... Here's the thing. If Disney bought... Let's say Disney bought out Warner Brothers and they wanted to remake or add another Lord of the Rings movie, their brilliant idea for a villain would have been, hey guys, somehow Sauron returned. That's their grand idea. Oh, we can't make a new villain. Let's just have Palpatine.
So can I ask you a question?
Again.
I'm not trying to cut off your opinion. Weren't you even a little bit excited when you saw the trailer and you heard Pelp's voice at the end of it?
Nope.
No. See, I was intrigued. I was like, all right, how are we going to do this?
No, because if you go off... So, here's something I don't think I've ever told you. But I have my idea for what the sequel trilogy should have been.
I think we actually have had this conversation.
So, but I have not had it on a podcast, so I'll mention it for about 30 seconds, and then I'll go back to my list. So, my idea was, the first trilogy is about who, specifically?
It's Anakin.
Anakin's rise and fall of Anakin that makes him become Darth Vader, right? Cool. Okay, what is the second trilogy about? Luke.
Well, 2 movies.
About Luke. Well, the original trilogy.
Oh, the original. Yeah, I still say Anakin.
It's about Luke.
I still say Anakin.
Anakin is a part of it,
Anakin's the biggest part of it.
But Anakin is the reminder of the tragedy that comes with the dark side of the Force.
But isn't Luke just the analog for Anakin?
You mean the analog?
Yeah.
But he still has to go through the struggles.
He does have to go through the struggles.
But the third trilogy, this is where they should have had, it would have had a great trilogy in my opinion. Should have been about Leia.
Never happened.
Why?
Wouldn't have sold tickets.
It would have.
It would not.
It's a Star Wars movie.
That does not matter.
It's a Star Wars movie now. Hold on. Time out. Star Wars movie that starred Rey fucking almost sold $2 billion.
You mean the...
$2 billion.
You mean nostalgia soup?
That's fine. But Leia, you're going to tell me Princess Leia in her goddamn metal bikini.
People would have gone, but it wouldn't have been... Okay, so go to a local toy store. No, seriously, I want you to go to a local toy store.
Bullshit. Go ahead.
Tell me how many fucking girls' toys there are in the boys section.
It doesn't matter. Boys are going to go watch it because there's a hot girl in the movie.
No, it doesn't fucking
That's why
matter.
people went wearing Rey, and she can't act her way out of a paper bag.
I'm telling you, dude, it wouldn't have sold tickets.
It would have sold tickets.
It would not have sold tickets.
Well, yeah, Rey Skywalker sold tickets.
Well, and people make mistakes.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
You may continue.
Rogue One sold tickets.
Good movie.
Yeah.
It was there.
You want to watch it?
Yeah, a buddy of mine told me to watch it.
Solo actually stars Emilia Clarke. It sold tickets.
Fuck, dude. Can I change my number 10?
No, you
I
cannot.
totally forgot about that fucking movie.
Solo?
Oh.
You can because it moves episode 1 up a little more.
Right. Okay, cool.
So, hold on. Episode 1 sold a shit ton because of who was in it. That little boy didn't fucking sell the movie.
It's sold because it's Star Wars. It's
exactly. You're proving my point.
It's like, because it's Star Wars, it's going to sell.
Can I at least finish explaining what it is before you shit on the idea?
I'm not shitting on the idea.
You already are.
She's going to get force powers and she's going to be trained by Luke or some shit.
It's a woman. Nah. It's a woman. Okay, so it should have been about Leia and Leia not dealing with her shit. So she's gone through her family dying, a lot of her friends she knew in the rebellion long before she ever met Han and Luke.
Right.
She never dealt with those things. And so episode 7 should have been them finishing off the rebellion on the planet of Jakku. If you don't know where Jakku is, that's where Rey starts out the episode. What?
Nothing.
What?
Nah.
I'm not German.
It's a joke.
Bless you.
Thank you.
And she's off training with Luke, but this is where I think it'd be great, and not the Ahsoka that they have in the show now, but the Ahsoka that they had from the series. It'd been great if full circle Ahsoka comes back around and trains Luke or Anakin's kids on how to use the Force. Okay. So, and there's a whole trilogy. I haven't played out more, but like what episode 7 should have been, 8 and 9, all of them should have been. But it's about Luke. The first one's about Anakin's character arc. The second one's a little bit more of Anakin, but it's more about Luke's character arc.
But you do see where I'm coming from, how it's still Anakin's story. Like, we went from the downfall of Anakin to the redemption of Anakin.
But it's not the story of that. The story is Luke's rise to being a Jedi.
It is literally the story of that.
It's not. It's a side story. It's like, it's the B plot. It's the B plot.
I think Luke's the fucking B plot.
Nope.
I do. I think Luke's the B plot.
Nope. It's about his struggle. You didn't go through his training. Okay, you went through Luke's training.
No, but he's going through everything his father went through.
Agree to disagree.
And now he has the choice.
But the second trilogy is a focus on Luke, and the third trilogy can be a focus of Leia, with Luke being the B plot. Still pulls people in from the original, the other trilogy, but it's primary. It's about her character arc and her growth, not so much Luke's growth. Okay, now you shit on it. Go ahead.
No, I didn't shit. I didn't shit on it. I don't think that it would have sold the way that the reboot fucking nostalgia fucking Sunday sold.
I think it would have been better because one, it wouldn't have disrespected the characters like I explained. He'd have taken the characters and had them finish their entire arc of what becomes of them. You'd seen Luke become a master of the Jedi, rebuilding the Jedi Academy. You'd seen Leia grow from never using the Force at all to becoming someone who can hold her own as a Force user.
Would have been a shit.
You'd had Han finish out his story arc and becoming a husband and a father and having kids, and all those things could have played out, and you have more characters develop beyond that. But you stopped it dead in its tracks, and 20 years later you decided to do it before everyone. Well, Carrie Fisher died off. The other two, I don't know, they're close. Both of them are in their 80s, right? Both of them are up there.
Yeah, right around there.
So you had a chance to do something great with them. They didn't. So that's what they should have done with the trilogy. You don't have to agree with me, but that's what I think they should have done with the trilogy.
I don't disagree. I see where you're coming from. I see what you're trying to say.
And your point, hold on, your counter to that is like a girl in it is not going to sell. Whereas episode 1 sold just fine, episode 2 sold just fine, episode 3 sold just fine, and then 7, 8, and 9 still grossed over $1 billion. Okay.
Noted.
Okay. Number 10 was Rise of Skywalker for me.
Mm-hmm.
So you did 11, 11, 10, 10. Okay, I'm up 9.
Mm-hmm.
Force Awakens. So the sequel trilogy to me is all 3 are the worst Star Wars. Now I will give this: Force Awakens is not bad compared to the other 2. Okay, it sets the stage for what could have been a pretty good trilogy, and then they just kept switching directors, and every director wanted to, swing their own dicks around and make their own ideas and not go off of anything else. There was no plan. The biggest problem with the sequel trilogy, and then Daisy Ridley said this, John Boyega said this, pretty much everyone involved said this, that they did not have a plan.
Oh, there was a plan.
There was a plan. It was what George Lucas. What George Lucas gave them. He gave them a template for what his the third trilogy would have been. They basically, well, we don't want to do that. We're gonna do our own thing. So you hire J.J. Abrams, Jar Jar Abrams,
Captain fucking Lens Flare.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams, and you hired him to make his story, and he made it his story. And then you hire Rian Johnson, who's the worst fucking director ever. I mean, Knives Out's okay, but everything else, this has been horrible. Last Jedi was god awful, and and he was told to do his own thing, and they're like, do your own thing, and we'll give you your own trilogy because you're stupid. And then he went back to J.J. Abrams, who tried to fix it, and it basically was called Damage Control, the movie, but it wasn't a great trilogy.
I called it. That's what happened to Snow.
The best word I will say is it's disjointed. Nothing connects. It doesn't connect. If you watch episodes 4, 5, and 6, they all flow into each other. Things that were done in one affect the other. The powers that, like the world that exists in, is respected, and it flows from one movie to the other. So you don't have to interfere with like the world it exists in.
Right.
Even though the original trilogy had to build the world, and people had to wrap their head around this world has space wizards that can do crazy things with this thing called the Force. Okay. My voice. Sorry. So, Force Awakens, number 9 on my list. You're number 9.
Solo.
Okay, go ahead.
I saw it because I like Han Solo, and then I watched it, and I didn't like Han Solo anymore.
Why?
Everything they did with the movie was...
Well, why that movie was another example of how disjointed it is. You know why?
It wasn't Woody Harrelson's fault, because Woody Harrelson's amazing at it. But
I thought most of the movie was good. But the bigger problem with that movie... That's why I'm coughing. The bigger problem with that movie is they went through, 4 directors.
Right.
And then the budget ballooned.
Well, it's like fucking Blade, the new Blade movie. How long have we been waiting for that now? It's been 5, 6 years. Because
here's the problem with... God, we're off on a tangent here. But here's the problem with Disney and Hollywood in general, is there's established characters, and you have 2 types of actors. You have actors that have no problem destroying the canon for them to get money, or destroying what kind of character it is and how it was built and things like that. Then you have the other kind that are for example, a great example, and this man is a godsend, Henry Cavill. He will not compromise the character for the people who want to include things and go off script and have their own stories they want to tell.
Cavalry, baby.
What?
The Cavalry, baby.
No, even with him in what's that?
The Witcher.
The Witcher, yes. He refused to do what the director was doing.
He's no longer the Witcher.
It's true.
Which
would have put his fucking foot
down like that.
Down.
Wish he would have put his foot down like that for fucking Man of Steel. I'm just saying.
I don't disagree with you on that, but I think he still portrayed a very good version of... His portrayal of Superman isn't the problem. No. It's the movie's tone that's the problem.
Yes.
That's the problem.
Yes. It was Dark Knight came out. Now we need dark superhero movies.
Yeah, you can't have... So, what the symbol on Batman's chest means hope. That's what it means. You can't have the... Superman, yeah, I'm sorry, Superman, not Batman. The Batman symbol on his chest is just a bat. I don't want to misconstrue that. Maybe it's some culture
what
somewhere.
What the fuck did I miss, dude?
In his culture, deep in the jungle in South America.
Maybe there's an Elseworld story I fucking missed.
No, but But no, the problem with like Man of Steel and the entire Snyderverse, to be honest, is you cannot make every character in the tone of Batman. You can't. Batman is the reason why Batman is the way he is. He had a lot of tragedy to make him the way that is, and all the tragedies of his villains make him that way as well.
I agree.
Okay, so
I'm going to course correct for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Solo because of just the pure nostalgia and how they shoehorned it in. Him with Chewie, him with the fucking dice. I wasn't a fan. Oh, and then there was that cameo at the end.
Oh, I like the cameo.
Yeah, of course you did. I knew you would. That
got me excited for the Solo trilogy they initially planned. But here's the problem why Solo didn't do so hot. And I'm pretty much giving away a lot of my thunder for my Solo. The reason why my Solo's where it is.
Oh, don't.
No, it's fine. Solo came 6 months after The Last Jedi. Cool. Came 6 months after The Last Jedi, and everyone, that was such a polarizing movie. Force Awakens, everyone was like, not the greatest, but it's still cool that Star Wars is back.
Question, we're going to go off on one more tangent. This is going to be such a long fucking podcast. This is going to be such a long episode because we keep
55 minutes.
We keep doing tangents. Were you excited about Force Awakens when you saw the trailer?
Yes.
Okay, everybody was. That's all I needed to know.
Of course.
Because it was badass. It looked like a fucking war movie with the X-Wings coming over the fucking horizon and seeing the Falcon for the first time. And
Yeah, I watched that trailer probably
same
500 times.
I think we were working together at the time. We both fucking lost our minds. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Force Awakens?
I think you were...
I was in Pittsburgh at that time. That was 2014, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy fuck, it's been 10 years already?
Yes.
Okay, continue.
Okay, I met my wife.
No, I'm done.
Me and my wife's first date was Rogue One.
Jesus Christ. All right, continue.
Me and my wife's first date was Rogue One. I had not moved to
Really?
Pittsburgh
I wasn't
first.
married? I had to have been married.
2014, dude. I wasn't married either. Like I said, my first date with my wife was Rogue One.
Wow. Okay.
So, anyway.
My apologies.
Tangent. Oh, okay. So Solo.
Nope, not what you were talking about. You were talking about Force Awakens.
You son of a bitch. Okay.
You were talking about Force Awakens. Which is kind of why I tried to bring it back with the trailer. Were you excited when it came out?
I was, and I thought the movie was okay, but it wasn't great. But where was I at with it? You interrupted me.
Something about John Boyega. They had no plan.
They were disjointed. They did not have a plan. They didn't have a script for 3 movies, or at least an outline for 3 movies. They have a complete character arc for all 3 characters. Now let's just build some dialogue and let's build the interactions between these characters. Nope. First director, make the movie whatever you want. Second director, hey, make sure you have the same characters from the other one, and we'll make it a sequel to it and make it whatever you want. Third one, fix whatever the douchebag that screwed up your shit from the first movie did. That's basically all it was. And they admitted on podcasts, they admitted on interviews that there was not a plan. The plan that was given to them by George Lucas was thrown out the window, and Kathleen Kennedy wanted to do her own thing with the Forces female bullshit and all this other crap she tried to throw in there, and it ended up being hot dog shit. There's no continuity. There's nothing in there that flows from one movie to the other at all. They just ruined a whole bunch of stuff. Fuck. Your number 9. That was your number 9?
Nope, that was yours, buddy.
Not my number 9. What's your number 9?
Probably, honestly, going to be episode 2.
Hold on. That was your number 9. You said Solo.
I said Solo was my... No, remember, it was... Yeah.
No, you said episode 1.
Episode 1 was my 11.
No, number 11 was The Last Jedi.
Oh, yeah, so yeah, it was Solo. It was Solo then... Or it was...
episode 1.
It was Manus.
Solo.
Yeah, it was Manus,
okay.
And then...
Okay,
we'll just cut all this, by the way.
8.
We're just literally going to cut all that.
Okay, you're on 8.
My 8 is actually, funny enough, same.
Attack of the Clones.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
Same. I have many reasons for this. I was excited. Well, there's parts about this movie that are great.
So our 8 and 11 are matched up. So
yeah. So it was. I was excited about it. Saw some of the trailers. Saw some of the people that were in it, and I was like, all right, that's going to be really cool. And there's some really likable shit, like the opening scene with Anakin and Obi when they're in the city and the death sticks and all that fun shit.
Yep.
And then he meets fucking Amidala again, and it just all goes downhill. Just every fucking bit. The dialogue is terrible. The sand monologue. alone is enough to turn me. Oh, God, it gets everywhere. I killed them. I killed them all. And not just the men, the women, the children. I
slaughter them like animals.
Jesus Christ. And this is where I think a lot of people give Lucas a pass because that was his fucking dialogue. And that was his direction. No, Hayden deserves a pass because Hayden's a great actor when he's given the correct material and the correct direction.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
How do you...
I don't disagree with you.
How do you make Sam Jackson boring?
I think all Jedi are for the most part made to be boring. So the one of the downsides to how, especially Disney is definitely taking this up a notch, is what they've done with Jedi is they've made them extremely boring. With Jedi, you're not supposed to show emotion. You're not supposed to be emotional. You're not supposed to do this thing. So how are you going to laugh? How are you going to cry? How are you going to experience real things? If you can't experience them with emotion, you're not supposed to. That's the point.
Right.
Because emotions lead to bad things. If you're too emotional, you can lead to the dark side. If you get angry, you can use that in the worst way possible and do bad things. Anakin did. Prime example. Anakin showed you like all the layers of like when you have joy, you now have something to lose because you're losing that joy.
Right.
Okay? Like with Padme. When you have like love from your mom and you pine for that love back because you haven't learned to let it go and you lose that what your love for her, that drives you to the dark. That's the whole point of the Jedi is they say like all these things can lead back to having regret, resentment. Those things lead to the dark side. That's the whole point of. But
isn't
Jedi
that in and out of itself an absolute?
That is an absolute. You're not wrong, which is why I wanted fleshed out Luke Skywalker's version of the Jedi, where you had wives, you had kids, you had a family, and those attachments, you fight harder for those attachments.
Right.
Okay? And that's what in Legends and things like that were supposed to be beyond the trilogy that George Lucas wanted, played into those. You have when your attachments, and that's what the trilogy that I thought would be Leia, is she was first taught that she had to let go of her attachments, like her thing with Han Solo, her thing with her family, and she never actually dealt with those things. Right. But once she dealt with those things and learned that she's a better person, she's a better fighter, she has more to fight for when she had Han, that was her character arc.
Right.
That complete cut off of emotional things that she never dealt with. She overcomes that and understands she can deal with those things and still be a good Jedi. And that was the story I thought should have been told over 3 movies.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree. I'm glad you got back to that. Then.
Okay, so thank you for letting me go full circle with that.
If
you're just joining in, you need to go back about 20 minutes.
I was trying. I was trying to give that back to you, and I was just like, go for it.
But that is the arc that Leia learns, and that is what Luke learns. That's what Qui-Gon Jinn is teaching as well. That's what he learned, is you don't have to be completely cut off from these things.
Right.
It's kind of like how they tell us men that now, like, don't be emotional at all. It's not about being emotional. Like men, we don't suppress it. It's we learn how to deal with it in a healthy manner. This is why men have hobbies. This is why you don't see everything in this room. I have tons of things that I have hobbies for. If I'm ever feeling down, I can make myself feel up really quick by either I have Ninja Turtles over here, Star Wars, Superman, or Batman, Deadpool, Scooby-Doo, a whole bunch of stuff in here.
Meth.
Harry Potter. Yeah, meth upstairs. Mario, Pokemon, tons of things in here that I can easily go, you know what? I feel like being in a good mood. Let me just watch a Pokemon video on YouTube. Let me go play some Pokemon. Let me go. There's tons of things like that. And it's about expressing those things in a healthy manner. And Luke's story doesn't finish with the Return of the Jedi.
You have no idea how right you are.
It finishes with him understanding that the absolutes is what made his father go insane and go to the dark side. That's what made him go to the dark side, was not that he could have both if he learned how to maintain both and manage both. It's about he had to be one or the other. And the path down the middle, this is why Qui-Gon had to die in episode 1. Qui-Gon would have understood wanting to have both and being in the middle, and he would have taught him to handle both the things in the middle. And that's the big difference. This is why, that's Anakin's downfall is Qui-Gon dying. Because the father figure who would have understood him and who he would have listened to dies. That's why episode 1 is so important. I know you hate it, but episode 1 is absolutely important to the story of Star Wars. Because that loss of the one who would understand the pain.
Dude, I get why it's important, but they just could have done it differently than a goddamn political drama.
I don't want it done any other way possible. the way it is to me is perfect because it expresses that. And you go from having a father figure who he greatly respects, will listen to a brother figure who he's combative with. And when it comes to him having to express those things, you have like Obi-Wan is the ultimate, is a great character, but he's the ultimate company guy. He says and does what he's told by the Jedi Order.
Right.
And you can't go to that guy.
Doesn't fucking pay off to be a company guy.
Does not. Okay? So, and that's not the character to go to. And because you're not supposed to build great relations with each other as a Jedi, he can't go to Mace Windu, who's probably the next closest thing to Qui-Gon, because he understands both sides of the Force more. And he's dealt with it. That's why he used a little bit of dark side.
Right, he don't give a motherfucker.
He doesn't. That's why his lightsaber's purple. He's got a little bit of dark, a little bit of red, a little bit of blue lightsaber.
That's actually not why his lightsaber's purple.
I know,
but we'll talk about that later.
He likes great blue.
Yes.
But no, his favorite color is purple. He said if he wanted to be in the movie, if he wanted to be in the movie, he had to have purple lightsaber.
Yep, absolutely.
But goddamn, I'm getting off on tangents, man.
You are on a tangent fucking quest today, bro.
Talk about Star Wars. I want to get Star Wars out of the way so we don't have to talk about it very much. But anyway, okay. So your number 8 was what? Attack of the Clones?
Yes, we agreed on that. Yeah. We agreed on it.
My take.
That's why I kind of just let you take
my quick take on that movie is it is good visually. I just think there's a lot of like campiness to it.
Hey Django, heads up.
Yeah, there you go. It reminds me way too much. You know how campy Batman and Robin got after Batman Forever?
Oh, it's not that bad.
It's
not
for a Star Wars
bad.
movie. It is
that final stretch of the movie where him and Padme or whatever the fuck her name is, are in the machine thing and they have to go through the.
That's campy to me.
That's campy as hell.
And the wording and the dialogue is campy.
Yeah, I think it was done purposely. I think it was showing how much they love each other and how they're together. And
okay, if you say so. Fuck it. Anyway, so that's my number 8. I think of the original 6 movies, it is by far the weakest. It is by far the weakest when it comes to standing on its own. Every other movie can stand on its own. If you play episode 3, it can stand by its own. If you never saw episodes 2 or 1, you really could.
Agreed.
Episode 1, you could actually. I think episode 1, if you never saw.
I am sorry, I insulted you.
But episode 2, I don't think you can watch it and it stands on its own. There's a lot of things that happened in the previous episode, and that happened after it that kind of matter to that movie. It's like 4, 5, and 6. All of them standalone are good movies. They don't have to have the previous movies telling us basically with Star Wars, you always have that crawl at the beginning of the movie.
Best part
that gives you exposition. Well, the intro is the best part.
And it's
all just uphill from there. So, number 7 for me is Solo. Solo, to me, wasn't the best movie, but it also wasn't as bad as people portray it. It did make money, but there's a lot of reasons for a lot of politics into that movie because they had a plan to make the main series movies, like trilogy, and then they had plans to make anthologies. One was Rogue One, then was Solo, and then was supposed to be a bunch of them down the road. Eventually, some of them turned into series that didn't do too hot. But that was the goal, was to make anthology movies. So the first anthology movie made over $1 billion. That was Rogue One. Okay? The second anthology movie came 5 months after The Last Jedi came out. The most polarizing movie, by far for fans. About you either hated it or loved it. You either were just someone who gets on their knees and just worships the Johnson that is Star Wars. No matter what they put out, you're always going to like it. You have no combativeness to it. Or you're someone that's like, okay, we have to have a standard for how good or bad movies are made. And this is not a good movie.
No, because then you're toxic.
Yeah. I mean, Acolyte got canceled because of all the toxic fans. I was talking to Brandon about that.
I thought it was lack of viewership.
Talking to Brandon about that today, and he's like, he hated it. I'm like, maybe it's because you're a toxic male.
You're racist.
You're a racist toxic male. I was like,
you're racist.
He's like, yeah, I mean, I don't know if you noticed my ethnicity, but I was like, well, I mean, I do have eyes and can see. So
you hated those black lesbian space witches.
He hated those black lesbian space witches. So, okay, so I'm not going to wax so much about Solo. What would have made it better is, here's another example of how they kind of ruined a character. Solo was ruined because what your expectation of him on episode 4, and you can
being cool, entertaining, enjoyable.
What?
Being cool, entertaining, or enjoyable?
Well, no, is that he's a great pilot. He knows how to navigate through space pretty well, and that's what makes him such a good smuggler. Mm-hmm. Nope, it's all credited to this social justice robot that Lando Calrissian has with him.
How did you feel about Childish Gambino as...
I thought it was a great casting.
Okay, cool.
That's good casting to
Just
me.
making sure.
He did a great job. He portrayed the character, a young version of... What's the actor's name? Weathers?
No, Jesus Christ, no. Billy D.
Billy D. There you go. I think he did a great job of portraying him.
He's in Wars.
He's in Star Wars. He's in.
I know he's in Star Wars. He's in Mandalorian. He doesn't count.
They're both in there, so it's very confusing.
Fucking Apollo is not Lando.
I know he's not. No, he's not. Okay. So, yeah, like that movie, the worst part was that robot. That robot was annoying. It was just one of those annoying characters, I think, in Star Wars. That and Jar Jar just have their own movie together and just really ruin the rest of Star Wars.
Kill each other?
I guess so. They could die at the end. It'd be fun with that, like Rogue One. So, that's where I'm at with that movie. But Solo wasn't bad, but it just kind of ruined a character. It kind of ruined it explains how Han Solo got his name. Lame. It kind of explained how Han and Chewie got hooked up. Got met up. That was pretty cool. That wasn't bad. Woody Harrelson was great.
Woody Harrelson's amazing and everything.
Emilia Clarke was great in that movie.
I forgot she was in
like
that.
You said. Childish Gambino. Donald Glover. Yeah. He was fantastic as Lando Calrissian. Very good movie. And actually, I love the fact that they went back to Legends and used the Legends story of how Han Solo got the Millennium Falcon, and they did the exact same thing for this movie. That is how Han Solo got the Millennium Falcon. He won it in a game of Shabak. And he said, and they gambled, and one of the gambles was you can have any ship on the... Now, they didn't exactly go the exact way it was, but they still went off like that's how he got the Millennium Falcon.
Right.
Was by in a game of Shabak, and he could have any ship that was in his shipyard, and that ship was not supposed to be there. So that was a huge fight they had, but they got over it, and he took the ship. So they went back to that. I was great. I was really happy to see that they did that. And that, I almost called him Apollo Creed. That Lando Calrissian cheated and won the original game. I like that too, because apparently he did that in Legends as well. But a lot of things about that were great. The Kessel Run now gets explained that it's getting from one place to another place in a certain amount of distance, and that's because he cut through wormholes to do it.
I am calling bullshit on that.
I do too.
Parsec is a fucking measurement of time.
Parsec is distance.
It's a measurement of time.
It's distance.
It is a measurement of fucking time. It has been a measurement of time since I was fucking 5 years old, and it will be a measurement of time until the day I die. I know what they say it is. I know what they say it is.
A unit of distance used in astronomy.
Yeah, no, bullshit.
This is science here.
Fuck science.
Oh, well, you heard it here. Science
has no place in Star Wars.
It does in some places. I always thought to myself, when they have this big space battle, we were watching episode 3 yesterday. They have those big space battles. You know how they blast lasers at each other?
They'd be silent.
What?
They'd be silent.
No, because they were actually in an atmosphere when they did that one. But I thought to myself, they're in space, they blast those lightsaber blasts. So they just keep going forever until they hit something.
You would think so, right? Because where do they dissipate?
I think light dissipates over time, doesn't it?
Over time, but it takes a while.
I guess so. But space, the thing about space is it has so much infinite space between two objects.
This has been the most tangent-ridden fucking thing we've ever done.
Okay, so we need to get back on track.
Ever.
Okay. All right, we're going to get back on track.
Wow, dude, the amount of tangents we've
I wanted to get this over, get this done, because it's going to be a tangent-ridden thing.
Fuck, this is going to be like a 3-hour podcast.
What's your number 7?
My number 7 is going to... Wow, holy shit.
What?
We're past an hour and 13?
Hour and 13 minutes.
Holy shit. Jesus Christ in heaven.
Don't blame him.
I can blame him if I want to. I'm a fucking minister. I can do what I want. I'm ordained.
That does not mean that.
Yeah, no, it means I can say what I want to. We're best friends. We hang out.
I'm a Jedi. I can do that.
That's right.
You're
see?
like Beavis and Butthead. Hey, everything's okay. I got my privilege.
I got it right. I got privilege.
I'm minister now. I can do what I want. You're baptizing children in lamb's blood. I'm a minister. It's okay.
Force Awakens, by the way.
Number 6?
Yeah, I didn't hate that movie, dude. I didn't hate it. I really enjoyed it, actually.
From here up, I'm okay with watching any one of those. You didn't put Rise of Skywalker
really?
Yet.
Huh?
You have not had Rise of Skywalker yet.
Yes, I did. We agreed on it.
No,
it was Last Jedi.
So you have Rise of Skywalker higher than Episode 1, and now you have it higher than... Go ahead. Go. Go.
I really like... really
go. This is about how our podcast intro went last time we tried doing this.
This is terrible.
Yeah, go ahead. Yep. You have to answer yourself to the internet.
I really liked Force Awakens.
Force Awakens, I'm okay with.
I had a very good time with that movie. I was like a nostalgia overload, and it was cool seeing Chewie and Han Solo, and the Falcon and all that good stuff. And BB-8 was awesome, and yep. Next.
Oh, you're up next. You have your number 6.
Oh, shit.
Sometime today.
It's that movie?
Rise of Skywalker?
Yep.
You think Rise of Skywalker is better than Force Awakens?
Uh-huh.
You think Rise of Skywalker is better than Solo?
Mm-hmm.
I'm out. I'm not actually out. I'm just kidding. Talking about your damn movie. Go.
I didn't hate it. I think it gets a lot of it gets a lot of hate. I mean, rightfully so. I think the reason I tolerate it more than he does is it answered like a really important question. It gave us a lot of questions after Force Awakens on who the fuck was Snoke? What is Snoke? Why is Snoke? I mean, there were so many good theories about Snoke, like
Can
Snoke.
you answer that question?
No.
I want to know that answer right now.
But
Give me the answer.
But it wasn't Jar Jar Binks, which, by the way, was my favorite theory out of all this. That Snoke was Jar Jar, yes. I don't know, dude. Like, to that point, I still had goodwill for the fucking new trilogy, so it didn't bother me as much as it bothered other people. And don't worry, I have that other one kind of high on the list. By the way, sir, here's to you.
I need one of these. All right.
I think I broke blank. I think I broke
never want to
Dadman.
hear you ever. By the way, when I brought one of my reps to our little thing we did in Bridgeville, and you gave Steve shit,
that movie sucks
about a certain movie.
Because it sucks. But out of respect for the OG, I will not put it lower than that.
No, you put a bunch of movies that were shit over Damage Control the movie. Sir.
Damage Control the movie is the best.
Let's fix all the crap that Last Jedi did.
That is fantastic.
Okay, number 6. Phantom Menace. I love this movie. I've waxed poetically about it. I think it is the linchpin that dominoes everything is Qui-Gon Jinn dying. And it really I think it's I grew up with this. There's a difference between me and him. I'm not saying our age, but he was a teenager.
I'm old as fuck.
Okay, he was a teenager when this movie came out. He's like 20. You were 20 at that point.
Oh, God, yeah. I had him.
He was 20.
Yeah.
I'm like 12. It was actually my 12th birthday.
Yeah.
I went on my 12th birthday to see Episode 1 in theaters.
Yep.
Okay? Great movie. You got to understand, the only movies I saw up to that point were the 1977 movie, was it 1981 and 83? Or 79 and 81?
79, 81, 83?
Well, 77 is when the first one came out.
Continue.
I will bet my left now on that.
I'll find out.
Okay.
I know 77 was first.
So you got to see, this is the first one that I've seen, not on, we actually didn't have them on VHS. We did get them on VHS eventually, but I initially saw them on Beta. You remember Beta?
Ooh?
Yeah.
Did you really just ask me if I remember Beta?
I don't know if you have.
Bro, I got 10 years on you.
Okay. Well, obviously you remember Beta. I didn't want to say it like that, okay? Obviously this guy here had Beta. You know?
You did it?
Was it 70? It was 77, 79, and 81.
The original. Continue. Don't let me.
80 and 83. Is that correct?
83, yes.
Okay, cool.
79, 80, 83.
So this is the first one I saw in theaters. Absolutely loved it. The only problem I have with this movie is 2 problems. One, Jar Jar is just a fucking shit character.
Mm-hmm.
2, this is whenever George Lucas kind of outsmarted himself a little bit, and he put in the trailer the double-sided lightsaber with Darth Maul. That would have been the internet was kind of a new thing at that point. That would have broken the goddamn internet.
Genius toy sales. Yep.
What?
It would have been genius toy sales.
Yep. Genius. But they had it in the trailer, so there's no surprise. That would have just broken the internet if that was the case. Now, here's the thing about The Force Awakens. I am an adult who can look at the story and say, hey, there are flaws in this story. and I can go back and watch episodes 1, 2, and 3 and see there are flaws in this. Episodes 4, 5, and 6, there are flaws in that. I've told you this. I had an idea for what the original trilogy should have been, and it would have been a more, I wouldn't say a more well-rounded story, but it would have been a more complete story. It made more sense. It had been more logical to follow, and you don't have the same kind of story arc you have with Rey that you have with Luke. But that's a different discussion. So I've gone back and seen the original trilogy, and I didn't think Force Awakens was the Phantom Menace was as good as some of the other movies. However, after watching the sequel trilogy, it has made me grow an appreciation for the prequel trilogy. So that is why Force Awakens has moved up my list. And I realize how important it is. I explained why it's so important, as it's way more important than any other. You can basically cut Attack of the Clones out of it for the most part and have exposition that says Anakin grew up, killed those what are they called, sand people,
Raiders,
and he's on a descent to the dark side, and they can start the movie and he kills off another Sith Lord. You could have just done that.
I'm actually kind of proud. I remember that name.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah. Good job. Okay. So number 6, number 5 is Return of the Jedi. It is my number 5 movie. It is of the original trilogy. It is to me the weakest one.
It's garbage.
What? No, it's not garbage. I don't think it's garbage. It is just the weakest one. It does not stand alone by itself very often, or very much. It is one of the ones that it can stand by itself, but
it stands by itself as garbage.
But it needs a little bit more from the other two movies to have more weight and to have a little bit more to it. It's a great movie. Visually, it's great. The space battle's great. One of the first real good lightsaber battles. The one on Empire wasn't as good as this one.
I love that.
And the battle on the Forest Moon of Endor, fantastic. So, but it's just not as good. It's a little bit of a copy of the first one. But that's my number 5. Your number 5?
Oh, I agree.
Return?
Yeah, absolutely. Return. I have several issues with the movie. Most of them are Ewoks. I just hated those little fuzzy bastards.
You ever seen the How I Met Your Mother Ewok line?
No, I've never watched How I Met Your Mother.
I need to show you that. It's like if you were born before this line here, Ewoks are cute and great. If you're born after this line, they're horrible.
Yeah.
So you either are on that line.
I will say.
So if someone agrees with that, like he's dating this girl and she says her age is like X. I don't remember what the age was. But she says that Ewoks were cute. And she's seen Star Wars. And he goes, she's lying about her age. She has to be. There's the Ewok line. If she likes him, that means she's old because she's on this side of the Ewok line, not this side of the Ewok line.
Yeah, I'm on this side of the Ewok line.
I think you might be on this side of the age line, but this side of the Ewok line.
I appreciate. I don't know. Well,
they were going to do They were going to do Wookiees.
See, that would have been amazing. Just a bunch of killer ass fucking Wookiees, just hitting people with rocks and bones
you
and shit.
Something that's dark.
Oh, dude, go there because I know exactly where you're going. Yeah, I watched that on your recommendation.
Somehow the Ewoks had to have eaten a girl that was exactly the same size as Leia to have a dress that fit her perfectly.
Kind of makes me excited about the Ewoks. Like, it makes me hate them a little bit less.
Well, what do you think happened to all the stormtroopers?
Oh, see, that's the thing. There's that episode of that show. Did you recommend it to me or somebody else? And they're like, you have to watch it. Like, they did an animated thing where it's the Ewoks and, like, they basically just straight up say they ate these fucking stormtroopers. And I'm like,
well, they were.
That's kind of cool.
I mean, that makes sense because they were really about to roast and cook Luke, Han, and R2-D2.
Yeah, how do you cook R2-D2?
I don't know, but he was chained up like they were about to cook him too.
Which shows how stupid the fucking Ewoks were.
Maybe, I don't know. They beat the Empire with spears. They ain't too fucking stupid.
There's some cool shit about the movie. Like I said, it's as high as it is.
They tried to trip a chicken walker.
It's as high as it is because I respect the original trilogy. It's where I came from. But as far as continuing the story, it finishes off Anakin's redemption, which is great. But after Empire, dude, it was a letdown.
If you're looking for a spectacle of battles, it is the best one of the trilogy.
Yes.
That we can agree on.
Yeah, the speeder bike scenes are fucking incredible.
The fight, even on, like, Jabba the Hutt's party barge, whatever it was.
With that fucking idiot.
Yep, that idiot.
Fucking
but Leia. Think about Leia.
See, never did anything for me.
Positive thoughts. Man.
Never did anything for me. Now, Padme in the fucking white outfit in Attack of the Clones did more for me than Leia did as.
Nope.
Yeah,
did it for
sorry.
Me. Leia did it for me. Carrie Fisher did it for me. So I'm. Anyway,
you and evidently a whole generation of guys, but it no.
So number 5, we are in agreement.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Number 4 to me is Star Wars: A New Hope. So that is my number 4.
Wow. Okay, I thought that would be a little higher.
Oh, you know the 3 movies left.
I do, but I thought that would be a little higher.
You thought it'd be above.
Yep.
Which of the 3 would you think would be lower than that?
The one you made me watch.
No, I told you it's my favorite.
See,
okay. So Star Wars: New Hope.
Over fucking really? Okay.
Okay. So first off, this movie has a plethora of fan theories behind it that I endorse one specifically. I am rock hard in my belief in this one. Yeah. So I was gonna say dick hard, but I said rock hard.
It's implied, sir.
That's that Boba Fett killed Luke's aunt and uncle. I've told you that theory.
Yes, no, it was the first episode of the podcast we did. That was an amazing fucking theory.
So
I agree with that.
You also have, and this is, I'll kind of have a little bit of this, not going to do too much, where I think Luke should not have been raised by his aunt and uncle. He should have been raised by Obi-Wan Kenobi. And he should have been training his whole life in the Force, so it makes sense whenever he fights Darth Vader in episode 5, one of the best ones.
Yep.
That he didn't complete his training, so he's not going to just walk in after training with Obi-Wan and Yoda for like 10 days. He's going to walk in and beat Darth Vader. Not even going to be close.
Right.
It's not going to be close. So that's a little bit of my thing. But the movie is great. It started such a different... It's one of the most... Probably the most... What's the word I want to say? It is the most groundbreaking... Like, it changed cinema forever. It changed cinema
I can't disagree with that.
There is nothing you can say to convince me this is not the most influential movie ever made. It changed the way people view movies, how they interact with them, how they make movies.
Let me help you. It was the first blockbuster. The first real blockbuster.
If you adjust for inflation, Gone with the Wind makes more money than every movie.
Okay, but it was like the first nobody was going to their friends going, oh my god, you have to see fucking Gone with the Wind. Rhett is so amazing with his giant ears, and he just doesn't give a damn.
Well, my argument with that, a friend of mine mentioned that to me on a previous podcast I was on 10 years ago. And I was like, yeah, well, you didn't mention the movie was on in theaters for fucking 6 years.
Right.
Of course it's only in theaters.
No, Star Wars was like the first must-see. You tell your friends about it. This is what happened. Like, you're not going to believe this shit when you see this giant fucking hairy ape.
But I don't think... But here's where I disagree, is the way it was made changed. Like, the way you viewed the problems of solving, how do we make this visually appealing?
Right.
So I'll give a great example. It's a movie I think... is great, but I think it could do with a really modern version.
Oh, leave Daredevil alone.
No, The Last Starfighter. If you watch the fighting battles in that's cheaply done. Okay? And Star Wars, for what it accomplished, did not exactly have a high budget. It actually had a very low budget that it had to figure out how to make it look good, make it look appealing, make it look like you were in the world. Okay? When you watch The Last Starfighter, you're in the world when it's the filming stuff, but when you go to the space battles, you feel like you're in a fucking cartoon. And I don't feel that way in Star Wars, any of the movies. Do you feel that way? Maybe in the newer ones that were all CGI. But in the original ones, you didn't feel like you were taken out of the world and into a cartoon in between scenes. It flowed together. It made everything visually appealing to the point where you believed what you were seeing.
Right.
If you watch The Last Starfighter, love the movie. I do. I really do. It could do with a modern update. You can keep all the same dialogue, just update the fight scenes or whatever, but it looked like a cartoon. Your thoughts. You're clenching your lips. You look like a fish.
It's a very special movie to me.
I love the movie, but it could do with a modern update. I think it could.
I just want it to be left alone.
Okay, fine. But I could do with a modern update.
I have my reasons.
But yeah, it changed everything. It changed the way everyone views movies.
There
was a standard that came after that movie. That, like, if you watch, like, a Star Trek, this is why, like, I know there's a big, like, war between, like, Star Trek and Star Wars fans. I like both, personally. But if you watch the first Star Trek movie and compare that to Star Wars, the reason why people lean towards Star Wars when it comes to, like, wanting an action movie. And there's a reason why the more modern Star Trek movies, like the ones with Christopher Pine, they are Star Wars like.
See, I could piss you off right now, but
why?
Wrath of Khan's better than any Star Wars movie.
False. But anyway, it's a good movie. It's a very
amazing
good
movie.
It's a very good movie, but it's not. So, what is your number 4?
Oh, my number 4, sir, is going to be Rogue One. I watched it for the first time a couple weeks ago. Was it 3 weeks ago? I told you I'd watch it.
It was 2 weeks ago because it was the same time in which I finished The Boys.
Yeah.
So the day before I finished The Boys.
Really enjoyed it. I didn't want to see it because as you and I had privately discussed, I was just pretty much done with Star Wars. Like, I just don't want to watch anything else. I've seen it since I was fucking a year old, and it was just like, all right, cool, I'm done. And then this came out, and I saw the end scene that everybody lost their mind about. I was like, all right, cool, that's all I ever have to see. Vader shows up, does his shit, makes him look like a badass. And then we talked about possibly doing this as our topic, and you were like, well, dude, have you seen them all? And I'm like, all but one, and it was that movie. It's cool. It's like a Star Wars war movie, if that makes sense. It gets a little deeper into characterization. It's a fun movie. It's a really fun movie.
It's like a Star Wars Suicide Squad.
It really is, yeah. It's like that, or like a Star Wars...
The good one, not the bad Suicide Squad.
It's like a Star Wars Suicide Squad, or like a Star Wars, like, fucking World War II movie.
Now, I keep telling you, since you seem to like this movie, you got top 4, you would like Andor.
It's like Band of Brothers,
Andor,
but Star Wars.
I'm not going to ruin exactly what it is, but it could have been made into 2 good movies. The first 3 hour-long episodes are about a heist.
Well, I know people are super excited it's getting a second season.
They are.
So when the second season starts, I'll probably start the first season.
Probably. And the second 3 episodes, so you got the first 3 episodes of the heist, the next 3 are a jailbreak. So you have 2 of those thrown in the same movie.
I'll check it out.
Good.
I will check it out. I'm not saying it's going to be immediate.
Andor, it's the character in Rogue One. It's the one character. The one that dies at the end.
I dug it.
What's her name? Felicity?
Felicia? It's Felicia. No.
The actress's name begins with that.
Felicity Huffman?
I don't think it's Huffman.
I don't know.
I don't know.
No, I really... Who the fuck are you? I really enjoyed it.
Going into that. We're in the mobile podcast. Don't you dare. Okay. So that was your number...
Excuse me.
That was your number 4.
That was my number 4.
What's your number 3?
My number 3, funny enough, is going to be episode 3.
Okay, so it's mine.
Really?
Revenge of the Sith, yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. Yeah, it just hit every beat I wanted to see hit in a Star Wars movie. The dialogue is still so fucking bad.
It's better than episode 2.
Well, yeah, that's not saying much, dude. But like the emotion. All right, so here's what seals it for me: that final scene on Mustafar, where Obi and Anakin meet. And he's like, you turned her against me, blah, 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 blah. And then they have the fucking badass.
That yourself.
Right. They have the badass lightsaber battle. When Anakin is going full on Crispy Critter.
Okay.
And he screams with the most emotion I've ever heard in any actor's voice at Obi-Wan that he fucking hates him. I completely believed it. Like, that right there shows you that it wasn't Hayden. It was what Hayden was given. Plus, you get to see Palpatine become Palpatine. You get to see a person die from a broken heart. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. You get to see a person die from a broken heart.
Medical mystery.
And you get to see fucking Jar Jar literally kick off.
Did you ever watch Robot Chicken?
Yes.
Oh, broken heart. Oh, don't use this $billions of freaking machines we have around us that in modern medicine, guy gets his arm cut off, we just give him a mechanical one that looks like this. Well, no, broken heart.
You get to see Jar Jar, the most hated character in the Star Wars universe next to Porgs, basically kick off everything that comes after.
Oh, no, that was in the previous movie.
Yeah.
That was in the previous movie, though.
But no, it was in 3.
No, it was not.
It was in 3.
I will bet you anything.
You don't have to bet me, you're the Star Wars guy. But
it was in the previous movie. He gave the final vote that gave Chancellor Palpatine the role of Chancellor that pushed him into being like the Emperor kind of guy, like President, or whatever. Right. To expedite things. And then he approved the Clone Army.
Though I will say this, the whole Yoda helps
battle.
Yeah.
Didn't like it?
No.
Oh, you didn't like Yoda looking like a bitch?
I didn't like Yoda looking like a goddamn cartoon the entire time. I'm used to puppet Yoda.
Yeah, he looked like that in episode 2 as well.
Yeah.
When he was fighting Dooku.
Yeah, I didn't like it then.
My thing is, he should have obliterated Dooku.
Yes.
You've never seen Clone Wars, have you?
I have, actually.
Have you
yeah,
seen,
I'm a huge fan of Jenny Tarkovsky. So
have you seen the fight scene where it's Palpatine with 2 lightsabers taking on Darth Maul and his brother, his name on that. He takes on his brother who has a double-sided lightsaber. You ever seen that one?
Darth Retail. I'm sorry.
I don't want to say Saj Ventress, because that's the girl. I don't remember his name.
But you were literally speaking Spanish to me right now.
Saj Ventress.
But no, I have not seen it. I have not seen it.
She uses 2 lightsabers. She's part of the...
Was that the bald chick?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
cool.
Yes. You got one.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, see, okay. That's how I do.
So, I can't think of his name right now. Something Oppress.
I got nothing. But no, haven't seen it.
I can't remember the name.
But yeah, that's where I'm at. Dude, that final fucking scene with him and Anakin in the volcano and nobody burning up from the heat of it because evidently Jedis are fucking fire resistant. But besides that,
I mean, they're basically walking. Go ahead. They're basically
say I'm wrong.
No, basically walk around in a burlap sack all the time.
Right.
That's super flammable.
Somebody's going whoosh. Like a fucking Disney princess costume from about 2010.
Or like Mulan's like all that silk just...
But no, I enjoyed that movie a lot.
I enjoyed that movie too. I think what I like most about like the sequel trilogy is, let's just say, I highly doubt that George Lucas made this plot line for episodes 1, 2, and 3, like the full-on out plot line, in 1977. And it's like, I can't do any of those.
I totally agree.
So I got to do number 6.
Yeah.
So he did 4, 5, and 6 with kind of an idea, but he had to go back and he had to backfill a story for an iconic character.
Right.
And I think he did a great job.
I think he had a skeleton of it. I think he had.
I think he did, but you still have to build the dialogue that builds the character,
right? Which he felt
what
miserably.
Caused this? What causality led to this? What events led to this?
Right.
And I think he did a great job of pulling that character and fleshing out a lot of that character and creating it. That's what episode 3 is, a pinnacle. It's a peak of that part.
I agree.
And I think George Lucas did such a great job. I actually think he fleshed out a lot about Obi-Wan. I think the animated series did a better job of fleshing out Obi-Wan, to be honest, but he did a very good job with Obi-Wan. They had such many plot lines that had to intersect in that, and he did very good with it. I agree with you about the whole I'm dying of a broken heart. I like the theory. I like the theory that Palpatine used the Force to kill her, to finally push Anakin over the edge and get rid of his attachments, but leave him with the grief that kept him on the dark side. I like to believe that.
Never heard that theory.
It sounds better than I died of a broken heart.
Did he do it remotely?
Yeah.
Was he like another?
I mean, you have no problem with the last. People have no problem with the astral projection of
Fuck you. Skywalker. That was amazing.
It was not. Yeah, that's stupid.
So fucking cool.
Okay, you just had him there, and he could have just.
It was a badass
dodged all of it.
It was a badass scene. It just looked really cool.
No, it was a projector. Okay, villains on Scooby-Doo use projectors to walk themselves through walls.
Wow,
okay?
Holy shit. Okay, next. Goddamn. Okay. Fuck.
My number 2 on my list is episode 5. Okay. That your lightsaber?
Yep.
2.
Snap. So do I, bitch.
It's connected. How about, you call me a peanut all the time.
I can't believe you right now.
No, continue. Episode 5.
Wow.
The Empire Strikes Back is my second favorite Star Wars movie. It is the best story told from Star Wars, begin to end, in any movie, except for one. It's very good.
Wow.
The biggest problem, I actually didn't like this kid a lot as a kid, because they didn't have as much action in it. Like, after pretty much the first battle scene on Hoth,
it's sad.
I lost interest.
Bleak. It's desperate.
I lost interest, but as an adult, I watched it, and I'm like, this is a better told story than any of the other movies that I've watched of Star Wars. So it's and then there's one that's recent that I think is the best one because it does something completely different and turns Star Wars on its head, and I love the way they did it, and I love what the outcome or the end product was. But the Force Awakens has probably the Empire Strikes Back is probably got the biggest twist in movie history. No, I am your father, and it's just and the music with it just hits perfect, and it's very well done.
Yes.
Go ahead.
What? No, I'm agreeing with what you're saying.
And what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Episode 4.
New Hope. Okay.
Yep. It was the first one. It's what makes people fall in love with the series. You've never seen it before. You didn't know what to expect going into it.
I had to explain this to my reps today. You're gonna love this.
It gives you characters that you know. Chewie. We
put Episode 4 on today, and one of my reps has not seen Star Wars. Okay, he's seen Episode 1.
I had that rep, but continue.
What?
I had that rep. Remember Ramel?
No, it's not him. Oh,
no, I'm just saying.
Yes.
But
it
was adorable.
I talked to Ramel, and Ramel was like, or not Ramel. Oh, yeah, you got me. Yeah, Ramel. His name is Michael, and Michael was like, I was like, Mike, I'm going to quote one of my favorite shows of all time. Okay? There are only, there's only 2 types of people in the world that have not, or only one type of person hasn't seen Star Wars. Apparently you and the people in Star Wars, they got to freaking live it. Okay? Okay? They got to walk around with a 7-foot-tall hairy beast.
That's it.
They lived it. They got to fly around shooting shit. They got to have lightsaber battles. They got to be around Princess Leia. Okay? So that's what I said to my rep. Yeah. And my other 2 reps, Brandon was laughing, and my other rep named Michael as well was laughing his ass off because it's so. And Michael, the guy I was saying it to, was also laughing his ass off.
Yeah, I love the movie. It's a part of my childhood. It's a big part of my childhood. I think that's why I really don't give new shit a chance because it can never live up to what I got to live as a kid. Seeing it through fresh eyes for the first time. You know, the first time you saw the cantina, the first time you heard the song, the first time fucking Vader strolls onto the screen looking like a big black dildo. Yeah, like you just...
Jesus, okay. Yep, yep, go ahead.
The first time you see a lightsaber and you're just like, what's that? I want one. And then it's like, it was magic, dude. Like, legit. If you look back at it through a kid's eyes, it was magic, and you can't replace that. So I can't have it lower than where it's at, but I'll never put what is number 1 lower than what number 1 is. So
and what is your number 1?
My number 1 is Empire Strikes Back. Period. End of fucking story. It is the best storytelling they've ever done. It is the best cinematography they've ever done. Best characterization they've ever done. Palpatine looks like a fucking monkey, which is kind of cool.
Totally redid it.
Yeah, I know. But, we didn't get that. I grew up the original.
I saw the original and I actually got it.
All, baby.
Because they redid it whenever they released on, they had the extended versions or the remastered
on
versions.
Video.
Yeah, on VHS.
Yeah.
So I told you I both. They had the beta, and then they had the...
fucking just everything about the battle on Hoth, the betrayal of Lando, or of
Lando Calrissian,
yeah. Just all of it. Fucking dude, the coldest line in cinema history. I love you.
I know.
Improvised. So badass.
It's also improvised.
Dude, I want to be that dude someday.
I love Family Guy's version. I love you. Fuck off.
But just and the pain Chewie feels, and just it was untouchable. And the fact that you went into, because you saw Star Wars had the happy ending. Death Star goes boom. Everybody celebrates. We didn't quite do fucking the Ewok celebration yet, but we got a happy ending, and you go see fucking Empire, you're expecting the same thing, and it is just the bleakest, most fucked up shit you'll ever see in your entire life. Han's in carbonite, Luke lost a hand.
In the name, the Empire struck back.
Right. It's
in
just...
a lot of ways.
It will always be... I will say this, and I don't say this lightly, you know how much I love my movies. Empire Strikes Back is probably the second most important film I've ever seen in my entire life.
Okay. And number 1.
Yes, absolutely. But
I'm
just
yeah,
incredible movie. Yeah, I got Halloween socks on today. Yeah, no, it will always be I'll defend that to death. I'll defend it to death.
So my number one, you gotta admit, I've seen this movie quite a
No,
few
it's good.
times.
It's very good. I know what it is.
It went from not on your list to number 4 very fast.
Yeah, I know what it is.
Is Rogue One.
Yeah.
I think Rogue One is the best beginning to end story of Star Wars. What is apparent in Rogue One, and this is why I like it so much. You said it yourself. You watched it one time. You said it's a war movie.
Yeah, it's a war movie. It's a straight up fucking war movie.
What is apparent about Rogue One is no one with no magic space wizard with a lightsaber is going to come save everyone.
Right.
We have to rely on us.
Right.
Okay, and that's what the rebellion is about.
Right.
As much as Luke Skywalker is a great character, as much as Han is a great character. Which I say Han's a little bit force sensitive. He's always
they humanized the character.
They humanized the rebellion,
right?
And they kind of gave you a scope of what the Empire was, and it's a heist movie. It's a jailbreak. It's a lot of things mixed into one, and it's so good because again, someone with a magic lightsaber who's a space wizard isn't coming to save anyone.
Right? There's no force lightning.
No,
there's no force push.
You got to rely on yourself. How are we going to do this without relying on those things? And that's what this movie's about. It's about one guy who had the foresight that maybe who I'm working for, or definitely who I'm working for, who I'm forced to work for, maybe I should put a failsafe in this. It fixed one of the biggest plot holes in movie history where they're like, oh, what are the odds of there being a hole that you can shoot a laser into and it blows up? Well, the odds are the guy planned it that way.
Right.
Because he was forced to create it, so he created this exhaust vent that funnels to a thermal exhaust port that funnels to like a reactor that can destroy the whole ship very quickly.
Right.
It was planned that way. And
that gave me catharsis, by the way.
Why?
Because I did the same thing. Like, oh, there's that one fucking place on the ship where if you shoot it, it's gonna go boom.
Yeah, but it was planned that way.
No, that's what I'm saying. It gave me catharsis, like seeing.
And then you technically got a MacGuffin, I guess, that does drive the plot, which is the plans. It creates a MacGuffin a little bit, but the way that they get it, the way it gets done, and the fact that the whole fucking rebellion just rallies behind it and just shows up, and you have this fucking battle of epic goddamn proportions.
Yeah, it's a fun fucking movie.
It's so good. It's like we talked about. It has like a slow build.
Mm-hmm.
It builds slow in the beginning. There's not a lot of action, but it builds and builds and builds, and it starts cooking around the part where they're getting their. She goes to see her dad for the last time before he gets killed and executed, and then it builds to. The rebellion is built on hope. Or I don't know why she has a British accent in the middle of space. But,
I don't know.
And then
same reason Princess Leia can fly through space.
You get the Scarif. They're on another planet. I don't remember the other planet's name where it gets blown up by the Death Star. You get the Scarif where the plans are. And the guy who's a villain in freaking everything. Villain in Rogue One. Villain in Dark Knight Rises. He's a villain in that crappy Robin Hood movie with Jamie Foxx. What?
That movie was fucking terrible.
It was bad. It's a Robin Hood movie, so I'll always like Robin Hood movies, but it wasn't great.
The one with Russell Crowe?
He's a villain in something else. Yes. He's a villain in something else, too. I just don't recall. But he's a villain in everything. And he's on Scarif. He's supposed to protect it. And it's just such a good movie.
Yeah, it's fun.
I have so many great memories of that movie. It was so good. It made me so excited about the anthology series that got ruined because Disney just can't make a plan and follow through with it.
It is nice Star Wars meets Platoon meets like Band of Brothers meets.
No, it's a Suicide Squad Star Wars movie.
Nah, there's no John Cena in his underwear.
Good. We don't need that.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't.
We do.
No.
It's amazing.
No, we don't.
Fun stuff.
Isn't it Paul Bettany plays?
It is Paul Bettany. Yes.
That plays that robot.
Yep. Absolutely.
The guy from Andor, which we haven't seen yet, but Andor, then at Caspian Andor.
Isn't he also
Mon Mothma? Mon Mothma, the same woman who's in the series as well as in there. She's also in Star Wars Episode 3. Is a couple cutscenes about where the senators are talking. She's in one of them. A bunch of it's just so much.
Imagine why they cut all that.
And the last scene, like you said, where you get that hallway scene and Vader just
the most badass he's ever been.
That's definitely in a movie.
No, in a movie. In a movie. We won't talk about that. Yeah,
Force Awakens.
Yep.
Or,
no.
The Force Awakens.
No, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
I know so. Was it Fallen?
No,
Order?
Not Fallen Order. The one on Wii where you you start out as Vader, and you're just like
Force Awakens.
No, that's not Force Awakens.
It is.
God damn it, dude! Are you really going to make me continue?
It's not Force. It's a Force Unleashed.
There you go. It's not fucking Force Awakens.
Force Unleashed.
Yes, Force Unleashed
with Starkiller. The original name, which was
Luke
supposed to be
Starkiller,
Luke
yes.
Starkiller, was actually supposed to be the original name.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good cameo. So that is our list.
Yeah.
Rogue One to me is number one, and we both agree that the worst one is Last Jedi, and everything in between we can just forgive each other.
Yeah, it's just it is what it is.
I can't believe you.
Empire. He's Rogue. It's cool.
Force Awakens.
I'm sorry, buddy.
No, you're not.
Dug the shit out of.
It's okay. It's fine.
I don't apologize.
You don't have to.
No.
So that will conclude this podcast. It's been a
very long one. I'm sorry, guys.
Holy shit! But he hasn't had to pee this whole time.
Yes, I have.
Okay, me too.
Oh, I definitely have to pee.
Me too.
Trust me, I have to pee. I have been.
You're allowed to. We're gonna go on for another 20 minutes.
I literally wanted to look at you at one point, just like, I know this has happened before, but I'm gonna pee.
You gonna text it to me? Oh, John, what was that? Oh,
nothing.
Oh, man. So
I gotta unsheath the lifesaver.
The next podcast, our top 10, will be top 10 90s comedy.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this one.
And it is rough.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
There's so many movies. It's different when there's 11 movies and you can only pick from 11 movies and rank them. When you literally can have 1,000 movies, we got to narrow it down to 10.
Much.
What?
We are going to miss so much.
We are. And the internet's going to hate us. Mm-hmm. But let us know what you think about our top 10 list. Or top 11, I should say.
And let him know that Empire should be number one. Because
let him know
it's the go to Star Wars movies.
Let him know that Rogue One is just
it's a great movie. I'm not saying it's not a great movie.
I've not gone on to you about your number one.
You know better. Because
my number one was, what's it called? Before Rogue One came out? Yep. What is my number two?
All right.
So it was number one at one point, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So thanks for watching. I'm Dadman.
Mm-hmm. I'm Stunner.
And it's Stunner and Dadman. Thanks for watching.
Thanks.
Next episode.
See you next time.
See ya.
Gonna go piss.
Yep.